All right. Ravens playoff chances.
Yes,
It's
the
slim.
playoff chances,
Okay.
the chances that Baltimore gets in. So just to start off, the Ravens are playing the Steelers, so they have to beat the Steelers, obviously, and they need the Chargers to lose, the Colts to lose, and the Dolphins to lose or tie in their game.
Mm.
So in other words, probably not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. We said this after the game on Sunday. It is pretty much over, right? That would take a whole lot, and basically, it's not in our hands. So, we're done. We're done. Let's go out there and try to win this last game and finish with a winning season. But it's over, man. And honestly, I don't even want to see this team in the playoffs. We've looked terrible all year. All year, right? Like, I think we might have had 2 games where we looked like, okay, we're a serious team. But every game has been close, win or lose. And to finish it out, 5 losses in a row, possibly 6, like, we don't deserve it. We get into the playoffs, what are we going to do? We have to face Tennessee in the first round, and they just got Derrick Henry back. They'll wash us.
They're not going to play Tennessee in the first round because it kind of ties into your conversation on Twitter there about John Harbaugh and the coaching job he's done. The Ravens
it's right because they're the 1 seed now.
They've had a lot of injuries.
I forgot.
Right?
Yes.
Somebody sent you a little graph showing you how many injuries they've had compared to their number of wins.
I couldn't even read that.
And there were a couple of other teams who were right on the same level of injury as Baltimore. And it was the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans, right? And, nobody's saying save Joe Judge's job because of all the injuries that they've had. But that's fine. Joe Judge has done an abominable job, even outside of on the field losing. But the other team who had the same amount of injuries was Tennessee. Now, one of those teams needs a miracle to get into the playoffs, and the other team is going in as quite possibly the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned it on Twitter. I don't like the way the Ravens fans are. And look, this isn't even unique to Ravens fans. This is a big chunk of NFL fans, period, of sports fans, period. Really, you're just happy with mediocrity. And even the Ravens have been better than mediocre, but they're not contending, right? Like. Since their Super Bowl, they've won 2 playoff games. 2.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they played really tough against Green Bay, and they played really tough against Pittsburgh, or not Pittsburgh, the Rams, right? They almost won those games, but they didn't. They lost, right? And we've said all the time that John Harbaugh, when his back is against the wall, he does some of his best work. And that's a useful skill to have, right? But you have to do the work the rest of the time, too. It's not good enough to just say, hey, people are talking about us. Let's really try this week, because I'm not giving you credit for a 2-point win over the Lions. That's not good.
No.
I'm not giving you credit for losing 5 games in a row, no matter what injuries you have. You've lost 5 in a row. It's bad. Now, and we're not even talking about this season, just this season, because if it was just this season, yeah, everybody would just give them a pass and say, yeah, that's fine. You had a ton of people hurt. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back. We'll be better, stronger, faster, all that. But following the Super Bowl win, they missed the playoffs 3 straight years and 4 out of 5 years. John Harbaugh was on his way to getting fired in 2018. They had a top defense in the NFL, and they were 4-5 midway through the season until Lamar came in and saved his job, right? And it's predictable that Harbaugh will get a lot of the credit, and Greg Roman too, for Lamar Jackson coming in and turning around the team. That's fine, whatever. It comes along with the positions.
Yeah. Now,
but when Lamar came in, they had double-digit wins 3 years in a row, right? And then they got embarrassed in the playoffs 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And what was the Ravens organization's answer to those embarrassing playoff losses? It was absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
It was to come back with the same coaching staff, the same philosophy, and just go get embarrassed again. And yeah, it sucks that they had all these injuries this year, but it's not a 1 year problem. They haven't been contenders since their last Super Bowl. Not realistically.
Right.
Right. And there's only one goal in sports, and it's winning a championship. And if you're not doing it, if you're not progressing towards that goal, you're going the other direction. And it's not okay.
Well said. Well said. Raven Ron says Ravens playoff chances equals we done. Let's see. Matt Williams says slim to none. Living Legend says 1, 2, 3 Cancun. Yeah, man. Let's see. Danity says Lamar not coming back unless we make the playoffs. Yeah. Cash Rider is still keeping hope alive. He says go Jags. Okay.
Look, anything is possible. It's just unlikely, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the Colts are some world beaters out here.
Devon Allen says no. Let's not win so we can get a higher pick. But my thing is, I think right now, if we win, we get the 18th pick. If we lose, like depending on how other teams finish, because again, that doesn't determine where we finish either, right? The highest we can go, I think, is 14. So 14 and 18. What are you looking at in the draft that's going to be the difference there, right?
Well, look, if you're looking at one specific player, it obviously can make that difference. But I think this is a special case. Normally, I'm always for, man, just if the season's over, just lose the game, get the higher pick, no matter what.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sending Ben Roethlisberger out with a loss is a special case, right? I think it's worth it. We did get an anonymous Cash App there.
Shout out to you, Anonymous.
So much. He's asking, will Coach Roman be let go Sunday after the loss? I mean, just already counting it as a loss.
Okay.
I don't think so. I would not expect them to make any kind of move until well after the season.
All right. Noah says, preach, brother Brodny, preach. That's what I'm talking about. So, look, here's the thing. So, yeah, I got into it with a couple of people on Twitter. And this is what's so funny, man. You like, not you guys, but, man, these Harbaugh protectors and these establishment protectors, man, they crack me up because – like you can't accept any criticism whatsoever of the coach. Like all of a sudden now John Harbaugh is a great coach. When the owner Steve Bisciotti said it just 3 years ago, right? A little more than 3 years ago, because he said in the offseason that we drafted Lamar, or 4 years ago now. My bad. He said, yeah, thought about firing him. Decided against it. I remember at the time people were like, oh well. He like you're taking his words out of context, or he didn't. That's not what he really meant. No, that's what he meant. You don't say something like that unless you actually thought about it. Nobody says I thought about firing this guy. He doubled down on that and said, hey, he has more pressure on him. There's more pressure on him than he's ever had before, and I expect him to rise to the challenge. That means your ass is on the hot seat. Like, I mean, if you don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. Right. Yeah. But he said, yeah, I thought about firing him and he might want to win this year. Right. He may not want to embarrass me again this year. So definitely on the hot seat. There were rumors that he was going to get fired midway through this season when when he made a switch to Lamar. So Lamar absolutely saved his job. Now, all of a sudden, he's a great coach again. And somebody had the nerve to say, oh, without Harbaugh, we've only won 4 games this year. No. You got that the other way around. If it weren't for Lamar, we might not even have won 4 games, to be honest. Right? Because we could have easily just lost those games that we won with him. Lamar had to do something spectacular. I mean, that one game against the Colts and the game against Kansas City, for sure, 100%, that's Lamar, right? That had nothing to do with coaching. Somebody tried to say that Kansas City game was good coaching. Bro, we gave up 35 points. That was not good coaching. That was terrible coaching. But the Detroit game, we had the greatest kicker of all time. He had to break the NFL record. He had to do something that no other kicker in the history of this sport had ever done to beat the Lions. Is that good coaching? No. No. So we had to have a MVP in Lamar and the greatest kicker of all time to get us to where we're at now, which is 8 wins. Okay. I don't want to hear,
which is the same place they were 5 weeks ago.
Right. And the Tennessee Titans don't want to hear about your injuries. Okay, they don't want to hear it. There are no excuses, and people kept on trying to make it about this year, right? Because they hated that I said that Harbaugh can't elevate this team, which he can't, and people are confusing elevating with motivating, right? Yes, okay, Harbaugh's a good motivator, but he can't elevate this team. This team has always been a competitive team. That Harbaugh didn't make this team that way. Harbaugh didn't build this culture here. We've always been grinders. That was way before Harbaugh got here. Way before he got here. So Harbaugh had nothing to do with that. So him coming in and saying, "Oh, well, they're going to fight to the end." That's the standard here. They're supposed to do that. So elevate our team past that. I want to get to the point where we're expected to win. We are the bullies. We're the ones that people look at like we got to go through them to get to the Super Bowl. And he's not doing that. So my man's got to go. And he can't bring coaches in that know how to do that.
And I think we should mention also, we're not saying that Harbaugh's some terrible coach or anything like that. He's been a great coach for Baltimore. They won a Super Bowl. They won a lot of games. Won a lot of games in the playoffs until recently.
Now
that's fine.
Now Cash Ryder says, hold on. He says it takes two. Lamar crapped the bed against Cleveland. Coaching bailed them out. How? Do you know how bad of a team Cleveland is? Coaching, the bad coaching on Cleveland's side bailed us out. We didn't do anything about that. That wasn't a that was not a that was not a massive coaching job by us by any stretch. That was just bad coaching on that side too. So no, and if you want, let's say I gave you the Cleveland game. What else? What other masterful job did we do this season in terms of coaching? I can't name it because I don't give credit because everybody want to give credit for the Green Bay game, for the Rams game. Oh, we fought hard, but we didn't win. We should have won those games. I'm not going to give you credit for losing games that you should have won.
Again, if you're going to take moral victories, you also have to look at the other side of it and criticize them when they don't look good in wins.
True.
Which was the majority of their wins this year.
True. Yeah. So, look, Harbaugh, let's be clear. Harbaugh's not getting fired. He's not going to get fired. But, again, if you're asking my opinion, I think it's time to move on. Mm-hmm. Not saying we can't win with them. That's another thing. Not saying we can't win with them. Just because you can win with somebody doesn't mean the situation's ideal. Right? I don't think it's an ideal situation to have Harbaugh here. I think at this point, he's just making it harder for us to win. It could still happen, but we need everything to line up. We need all of our players healthy, right? Even though I want to say something about all these 33 players that we keep touting out there as being injured, I would say about 5 of those guys are really key. All these other guys that we keep talking about, they don't even play. So, but okay, we need everybody healthy apparently, and we just need I guess we need Greg Roman to open up his vault more. I don't know. So like we need everything to line up. We're gonna need other teams to get hurt a little bit, and then possibly we can win with this coaching staff. So
yeah, but look again. He's done great things in Baltimore. He is a good coach, and sometimes it's just time for a relationship to be over. Right. The same thing was true of Andy Reid in Philly. He was a great coach. They did a lot of great things. And they parted ways, and they were both better for it. The Eagles won their Super Bowl. He went on to Kansas City. He won a Super Bowl in Kansas City. They both got better from that breakup.
Yes.
And the same thing can be true for Baltimore. John Harbaugh can go somewhere else, build up another team, and continue having success. And Baltimore can take the next step that they haven't been able to take over the last few years.
No, absolutely. Because you know what I think is going on? I'd never said Harbaugh's a bad coach. But what's going on is this man, Lamar Jackson, came in and saved this job, and he just been putting the team on his back, and he made Harbaugh's job a lot easier. He made everybody's job a lot easier, and I think they got a little lazy. If we're being real about it, he didn't have to be as creative, right? Because at the end of the day, Lamar's going to do something special and just win these games for him. And he got lazy with just play calling and just overall. This is not, and this isn't this isn't something that's exclusive to Lamar Jackson. This is, again, the curse of the black quarterback. When you have somebody that's that dynamic, that can do all these special things, coaches get lazy. They say, well, I mean, he can just make something happen with his feet. You know, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do any advanced play calling in the pass game, right? I mean, we can just run the ball. They won't be able to stop us running. The O-line's fine. You know, I mean, they'll block well enough, right? He'll make a play with his feet. Like, it happens all the time, and I think he fell victim to that. And by letting him go, it'll make him realize, all right, I need to improve off of that. And the coach that we bring in to replace him will understand there needs to be a higher standard than what we just saw.
Yeah.
So.